We need to focus on facts and not fear. And I think that there's been a lot that's been done to try to promote fear, to promote worst-case scenarios, to drive hysteria.
Behind the twists and turns of Florida's decision to reopen is Governor Ron DeSantis. The Trump-endorsed governor was reluctant to close his state at the first appearance of coronavirus, and later became one of the first to reopen when the number of cases appeared to be slowing. But now, as Florida becomes the new epicenter for infections, DeSantis is faced with reevaluating those decisions. Here's a timeline of how the governor has handled the outbreak, beginning on March 1st. That's when the state's first 2 cases of coronavirus were announced.
Despite these cases, the overall immediate threat to the public remains low.
During the virus's initial spread, DeSantis downplayed its severity.
The risk to the community at this time remains low.
Just a few days later, he declared a state of emergency in Florida.
I'm going to be doing an executive order today directing all Floridians to limit movements and personal interactions outside the home.
Nearly a month after Florida's first few cases, DeSantis reluctantly issued a statewide stay-at-home order. Florida was one of the last states to adopt stay-at-home orders and business closures, even as infectious disease experts advised governors to implement measures to slow the spread of coronavirus.
This virus doesn't discriminate whether you're in a small town in a relatively secluded area of the country versus whether you're in a big city. And sooner or later, you're going to see a surge of cases.
But just a few weeks after this closure, DeSantis allowed local officials to reopen some of Florida's beaches in mid-April. DeSantis even visited the White House, where President Trump praised Florida and held up the state as a model for how to manage the virus.
You actually have more testing than you have demand.
Right now, yep.
It's a fantastic thing.
DeSantis ramped things up on May 4th, when Florida began its Phase 1 reopening procedures, which included some gyms, beaches, barbershops, and restaurants at limited capacity.
We do have hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I'll outline the steps that we'll be taking going forward.
Phase 2 in early June took things further, with the reopening of bars and other recreational activities in most of the state. This is when the number of cases climbed exponentially, but DeSantis emphasized the shift in the virus affecting Florida's younger population.
You are seeing much more spread amongst the younger demographic. I think that positivity rate, we'd like to turn that and get that going in a downward direction.
Ahead of the July 4th holiday, the governor did close beaches and cautioned against indoor gatherings. As of July 8th, Florida has experienced a 31-day streak of peaking new coronavirus cases. As the state prepares for large events like the Republican National Convention in Jacksonville, all eyes will be on DeSantis.